Hi there, I'm Carmen, and today I want to talk to you guys about dying. And I know this sounds like a really crazy topic for a podcast, but I want to share another book with you guys by Stephen Levine, and it's called Who Dies? An Investigation of Conscious Living and Conscious Dying. And I feel like there probably couldn't be a more appropriate time to have a just a real brief conversation here about what it means when we're dealing with people who are, who are passing away, who have been in the process of dying, who maybe have recently passed away without warning. And what happens, what's happening during that time, not only to the person who is experiencing the process of death or the journey of death, but the people who are left behind, the family, the friends, maybe the caretakers or the hospice workers. I found this book really powerful. And even though I haven't had anyone very close to me pass away, knock on wood here, I've been blessed to have all of my family members still alive and still, healthy and thriving. I found it fascinating when 2020 occurred, and there was this big push about fear and the fear of death and COVID, and that all millions and millions of people are going to die from this pandemic. And so, for some reason, I was drawn to this book many years ago, and last year in 2020, I went over and I pulled it off my shelf, and I'll share it with you. This is what it looks like. It's an older book. Pulled it off my shelf, and I thought, I wonder what I could learn from this book. And as you can probably see, all of these little bent over pages, and yes, I'm a page bender, were things that spoke to me. And I keep returning to this book because I think it's fascinating about how many times people who are on the precipice of death, or maybe they're caretaking someone who is, how there's so much fear that goes along with that, along with the process of death, or losing someone that we love. And as a person, when I was a child that used to fear death, and I used to be so afraid of it. It fascinates me today how much more different I feel about it and how I think about it as I've learned so many tools for the toolbox of health and wellness over the years. And so in this book, there's a statement, or there's a sentence here, and it says, "The old who live in their body are bent under the strain. The old who live in their hearts are aglow." And so I thought that was pretty an interesting sentence, because how we live matters just as much as how we die. And many times, as we are navigating this world on autopilot, we really aren't living as much as many people who are really actually on their deathbed, living life to its fullest right there in that moment. I think it's very important that we all maybe touch in or check in with ourselves, and how we deal with immortality, how we deal with mortality, how we feel about the process and the journey of death, not only for ourselves but for those around us. One of the things that I used to say all the time, when I was little, was, I would ask my mom these questions. Can you die from having a stomach ache? Can you die from this? I was just fascinated with that, the whole process and the journey of it. And then as time has gone on, and I've lost animals, of course, and made decisions, hard decisions, for the animals in my life that I've loved, and I've watched my family members and friends lose people that they love. It's become something that I'm fascinated with learning more about, not in a morbid way, but in a curious way, because I truly believe this is not our last stop here on earth. I believe that, if you've got your faith, you've got everything, because faith actually can help us to determine how we feel about all of these things in the world that are happening today, about losing people, about watching people die from having a virus or the vaccine, or whatever may be happening to them. And I think it's important that we all start to make peace with the idea that no one lives forever, right? And how do we do that? We do that by learning and understanding what are the pieces inside of us that feel fearful. What are the things inside of us that we need to make peace with about our own journey towards the end, right? Or the journey of the people that we love and care about. One of the worst things that a parent could ever even think about is the loss of a child. It's something I could never even imagine. When my child was a baby, when he was a toddler, when he was small, I would always think, oh God, please don't let anybody ever take him. Don't let him get kidnapped. Oh my gosh, don't let everything happen to him. And now that he's older and he has more freedom and he's driving and things like that, my fear from him being a child like that is more of a releasing and letting go, and allowing God to watch over this child as he's out in the world, and trusting that he can make good decisions for himself. So over the years, I have developed a sense of peace about the idea of death. And for myself and for the people that I care about and love. And just wanted to share this book because I think that a lot of people right now are searching for something to put their finger on to quell the fear that's inside of them about their own future or someone that they love and care about that maybe they've lost or is sick and not well right now, or is making decisions that may not be the healthiest decisions for them. So again, another book recommendation, which I'm going to be doing a lot of these because I have read a lot over the years. It's how I have gone through this journey of my own, from being very unwell and in very unhappy relationship in my marriage and into a happier time in my life and a healthier time. So again, Stephen Levine, Who Dies? An Investigation of Conscious Living and Conscious Dying. Fantastic, fantastic book. I recommend it to anyone. So please hit the subscribe button if these things are interesting to you and helpful to you, and bring your friends and family. I'm here to just help you to feel more at ease in your body, in your mind, and feel less overwhelmed about making decisions for yourself, and to come from a place of common sense and getting back to the basics for your health. And as always, join me on Carmen Hunter Health on Mighty Networks, and you can go to carmenhunterhealth.com to go to the events tab and join us for our Wednesday webinars and all of the webinars I'm going to be bringing to you to help you feel better about what's going on in the world around us and help you to gain back your health and medical freedom.